Rachel Lindsay lets fans know she's not backing down. May 2, 2021. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Bachelor Nation is a bunch of book writing fools. The same is now true for Rachel Lindsay. She's letting fans know she has a collection of essays coming out soon. She announced the book on her Instagram. Rachel said the essays are about love, life, relationships, friendships. The title is called Miss Me With That. In the description, she said it will have hot takes and hard truths. Lindsay told fans, "Y'all know I won't hold back. I'm telling my story. The book will come out in January and can be pre-ordered now." What else did Rachel Lindsay say about the book? According to the Bachelor Nation website, Rachel Lindsay shared more about the book on Extra, the show she works for now. She told Billy Bush it was a collection of her personal essays. Rachel said, "I feel like my story has been told by so many other people on camera. Now, this is the off-camera version." The former Bachelorette is stepping away from her podcast she co-hosts with Becca Kufrin on May 4. She said, "It's been really great building this audience." After the controversy surrounding the last year in the franchise, she's made the decision to move on. Fans and Bachelor Nation full support her. Rachel Lindsay had a ton of support from those women and men that share the world of Bachelor Nation with her. Bachelor Nation showed up in the comments for her in a big way. Peeper James said, "Oh my gosh, yay, immediately going on the reading list." Trista Sutter said, so happy for you. Congrats big, author, Ratch." Fans were also thrilled with one saying, "The only Bachelor Nation book I would even consider reading." Another said, "You have such a great way with words, and I already know that this book is going to have so much wisdom in it." A third deemed her the hardest working woman from the franchise. On Twitter, a fan said, "Us, the true fans, we love you, and I'm so excited for you. I know this book will be the quickest page-turner." Of course, there are some naysayers. There were some people who aren't supportive of Rachel Lindsay and her book. They were mostly on Twitter. One said, "You are one person who needs to just hold back their tongue. Who are you and why would anyone want to read your book?" Another said, "I am sorry, why is she writing a book for dating 30 guys at the same time?" A lot of fans are still blaming her for Chris Harrison's hiatus. One said, "Used to be a fan, but you sure lost me with your self-righteousness and bullying." Will you be buying Rachel's book when it's available? Have you went to pre-order it? Comment with your thoughts down below. From the moment she stepped into America's hearts as the first Black Bachelorette in 2017, she made it clear she wasn't here to play nice. She was here to challenge the norms, redefine love stories, and demand the respect women of color deserved both on and off screen. But now, years after handing out her final rose, Rachel found herself in the center of a storm far bigger than a reality TV scandal. This was different. This was personal. The backlash started as a whisper, then a tweet, then an article, then a full-on media frenzy. And Rachel? She was ready. Chapter 2. When Silence Isn't Golden. It all started after Rachel posted a clip from her latest podcast episode, Higher Learning, co-hosted with Van Lathan. The topic? Accountability in the entertainment industry, and she didn't hold back. She addressed racism in casting, misogyny in media narratives, and the hypocrisy of people claiming to be allies until it got uncomfortable. Her tone was firm, her facts airtight, and her emotion raw. But social media had a different reaction. Why is Rachel always so angry? She should be grateful for the platform The Bachelor gave her. Just another bitter reality star trying to stay relevant. The comments poured in, venomous and dismissive, but Rachel didn't flinch. "I'm not angry," she said in a follow-up Instagram post. "I'm passionate, and I'm not going anywhere." Chapter 3. The Turning Point. A week later, Rachel was scheduled to appear on a daytime panel show. The producers asked her to keep things light, avoid the controversial stuff, maybe talk about her wedding or her skincare routine. Rachel smiled politely, then declined the appearance. She posted about it the next day. If the only parts of me you want are the palatable ones, you don't want me at all. That's when things exploded. Hashtags trended. Think pieces followed. Fans, celebrities, and critics all took sides. Rachel was being labeled difficult, too political, and divisive. But behind the scenes, something far more powerful was happening. A movement was building, and Rachel was at the center of it. Chapter 4. The Leaked Email. The moment that solidified her stance came just days later, when a former producer from her Bachelorette season leaked an internal email to the press. The email, dated from 2017, described concerns about Rachel being too assertive and advised producers to soften her image to make her more relatable. It was everything Rachel had hinted at, now in black and white. She could have said, "I told you so." Instead, she said this: "For years, I've been told to shrink myself so others could feel comfortable. I won't do that anymore. If that makes me unrelatable, so be it." Chapter 5. Allies, Apologies, and Awakenings. Some of Rachel's former Bachelor Nation co-stars spoke up, begrudgingly. A few released generic apologies. Others stayed quiet. But one surprising ally emerged: Chris Harrison. In a video posted to his Instagram, his first public comment since leaving the franchise, Chris admitted, "I got it wrong. Rachel tried to tell me. I didn't listen. That's on me. It was a moment no one saw coming." And yet Rachel didn't bask in vindication. She acknowledged his apology, then redirected the conversation. This was never about one person. This is systemic. It's about changing the whole game, not just swapping out the players. Chapter 6. More than a reality star. Amid the backlash and headlines, Rachel stayed busy. She wasn't just talking, she was building. She launched a nonprofit focused on media literacy for young women of color. She published an op-ed in the New York Times titled, "When They Tell You to Be Quiet, Speak Louder." And she announced a book deal for her memoir, Unfiltered: From Roses to Revolution. Every move was strategic, every word calculated. She knew the world would try to paint her as bitter or broken. Instead, she painted herself as bold. Chapter 7. The Night of the Forum. The tipping point came during a live forum at USC titled, "The Power of Public Voice." Rachel was the headliner. The auditorium was packed. Cameras rolled. Students clutched notebooks, ready to hear her speak. Rachel walked on stage in a sleek navy jumpsuit and barely their makeup. She didn't smile for applause. She didn't read a script. She stood at the podium and said, "I've been told to shut up. I've been called too loud, too bold, too angry, too proud. And every time, I've asked myself, should I tone it down? But if I tone it down, who's going to speak up for the next girl who looks like me?" The crowd erupted in applause. Chapter 8. Breaking News or Breaking Chains. Within 48 hours, headlines filled every outlet. Rachel Lindsay sparks revolution in Bachelor Nation. Not backing down. Rachel Lindsay owns her power. From reality TV to reality check, Rachel Lindsay isn't here to be silenced. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, producers from multiple networks reached out. Offers poured in: talk shows, panel series, docuseries pitches, even a primetime special. She turned most of them down. Why? Because this wasn't about fame anymore. This was about impact. Chapter 9. 1 year later, 12 months later, Rachel stood outside the new headquarters of her nonprofit, Amplify Her. It was opening day, and the line wrapped around the block. Young girls clutched tote bags that read, "Not backing down." Inside, there were workshops on journalism, public speaking, storytelling, and activism. Each one inspired by Rachel's journey, from reality star to revolutionary voice. As she cut the ribbon, someone asked, "What would you tell 2017 Rachel, stepping onto the Bachelorette stage for the first time?" She smiled. "Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You're never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. Chapter 10. The Final Rose. Back home, Rachel curled up on her couch with her dog, Copper, her phone buzzing nonstop. A text from Van Lathan. A congratulatory DM from Ava DuVernay. A shout-out from Beyoncé's publicist. But one message made her pause. It was from a young fan named Layla. I watched you speak today. My school tried to suspend me last week for calling out racism in my history class. I was scared, but seeing you speak made me realize I'm not wrong, I'm not crazy, I'm not alone. Rachel stared at the message for a moment, then responded, You're not alone, and you're not backing down. Neither am I. She hit send, put her phone down, and exhaled. She may not have found everlasting love on television, but she'd found her voice and made sure millions of others could find theirs too. And that was the most powerful rose she'd ever given.